In today's video, we're going to be using Soap Commander Vision and a very cool vintage razor. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. And if it's your first time, welcome aboard. I hope you'll consider subscribing. Okay, as mentioned before, today we're going to be using Soap Commander Vision, which is a terrific value soap. We'll go ahead and get right into the price. The price on this generally $15 for 6 ounces. We'll put up the price chart there, and that is $2.50 per ounce, which is an exceptional price for, in my opinion, a very good performing soap. The scent on this one is an aquatic type scent, and on the label, I like the Soap Commander does this. It says aqua, amber, and mint, and that's pretty much what you get. Scent strength about 6, a little over medium, really good value. By the way, you can get this at West Coast Shaving right now. It's on sale for $13.50, so you can get it even cheaper than $15. These soaps are 6 ounces, tremendous value. Soap Commander is like Sterling in the value realm. A very good product for your money, and honestly, it makes a lot of us question each time we use it why we pay more for soaps, quite frankly. The razor today, I'm super excited about. By the way, I'm sorry for my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather. But anyway, the razor today, this is a Schick repeating razor. This is a type C. It's about not quite 100 years old. It was made between 1933 and 1941. And it looks like it comes in sort of like a lipstick case, but it's very cool. And I'll show you the razor. So the head is actually twisted, but it twists out like so. It already has a blade in it. But what I want to show you is, you see this little slot right there where my fingertip is? The reason the head tilts back that way is not only to fit in this cool case, but because in the bottom, you pull this plunger out. Well, let me show you the other side. Anyway, in the other side of the razor, you pull it out and there's a little tray, and your injector razor sits in that tray, and then you close it up, and then you pull this plunger out, and what happens is when you press this plunger up like so, the blade pushes up into the injector razor. And so it uses injector blades like this. Very cool mechanism. I have not seen a ton of these. One of my viewers, David, sent it. So David, if you're watching, thank you. I'm super excited to use this razor. You don't see a lot of them in this good of condition. Really nice condition. There's a little bit of brassing there on the head, but otherwise it's in really great condition. And again, we're going to use a Persona injector blade with it today. And let's get started with our pre-shave. Also, before we get too far along, a couple of announcements. Please catch So Sharp David and I tonight on Instagram Live for Real Talk. I'll put the graphic right there. Tonight at 8 p.m. and we're going to be discussing the topics of the day. We will get into Flipgate or Flippergate, where we've seen some artisans really sort of putting some strong words out there with respect to flippers. We'll be talking about that and many other topics. Again, tonight, 8 o'clock, Instagram Live. There'll be a link below. By the way, this is just regular water in my misting bottle, and I'm hearing a lot of you are trying misting and enjoying it. Well done. If this helps you, I'm very happy. To me, I find that the misting sprays the water more evenly on your face, and it's not as prone to running off. Next announcement, while we get our lather situated here, is Lancaster towels. If you're interested in those or other Lancaster wares like brushes and so on, they're having a drop on Saturday, which is tomorrow. And I'll put the graphic there for you. 3 p.m., I believe, if my memory serves. And so if you want a chance at Lancaster, there you go. There's your chance. I do know he has a pretty good volume of towels this time, so hopefully a lot of folks will be able to get them, and I hope you'll enjoy them as I do. I don't make a penny on it, just to be clear. I just like the towels, and I've bought all the ones that I've given away as gifts. I've given 3 away as gifts and kept 1 for myself. All right. We got a good lather here with our Soap Commander. This soap does lather creamy. Show you a shot right there. Anyway, don't forget the Lancaster drop if you are interested. Jack from the virtual groom room, yesterday, he was using a Talbot shave soap, and he kind of posed a question. Why are we paying more than $20 for a tub of soap? Good question, Jack. I'm glad you asked it. Honestly, there's no need to do it. There's no compelling reason to do it other than you just like brands that charge more. But as you can see right here, this lather is going to be fantastic for this shave. This is an open comb injector razor, and it's doing a good job. Injectors aren't really my thing, and simply because I don't want to maintain a bunch of another type of blades. So that's just me. Your mileage may vary, as they say. This is a very cool razor. It's very old. It's kind of rare. You can find them, but hard to find one in good shape. When I got this, I reached out to DK, or Blackbeard, as I call him, on Instagram, and said, man, you got to get one of these. These are super cool. And he said, I'm trying to, but it's hard to find one in good shape. So DK, bro, I hope that you find one of these in good shape, because they are evidently difficult to come by. So thank you again, David from Georgia, for sending this over for me to try. I've never used one of these. I've used a lot of razors, but this one is new to me. Single edge, and I know a lot of people enjoy the single edge and double edge razor videos. I've been really enjoying my journey with straights, learning, and honestly, it just feels like I'm learning and accomplishing something, and I love to learn. And so that's why straight razor shaving has really hooked me. I never wanted to go down the path, but once I'm in it, I'm like, oh man, I'm really loving it. But today it's nice to get just a nice easy SE shave with this really old razor that is super cool and unique. And so again, it is the Schick repeating, I believe it's called a repeating razor, type C. There are a few variations. I believe A, B, and C, if I'm not mistaken, but super, super cool. The loading mechanism is just fantastic. I wish somebody would make something like this today, just for, not because we need it, but just because it would be cool, you know? So, all right, there we are with our first pass. Let's, usually what I do is I don't really rinse. I don't really need to get all that lather out of my face. What I tend to do is pull it out of the goatee a little bit, just sort of spread it a little bit, and then I'll mist and lather over it. Again, I've gotten a lot of comments about the misters, and I'll put a link below if you're interested. These particular bottles just put it in a fine mist. I opened up that. By the way, that is not a cut from this injector. I got myself yesterday with a straight, so we won't count a reopening of an old wound, because you can pretty much expect that's going to happen. I think I jammed the point. I had a square point Philharmonica that I was using yesterday, and I think I jammed the point into my neck there, or excuse me, my cheek there a little bit, not paying attention. I want to say something right now, and I'll talk about this tonight on Instagram. Technique means everything, folks. And I don't care what you're using. Great lather here, by the way. Technique means everything. If you slip, I don't care how good the soap is. And this is where I differ with the chief a little bit. And again, I'll talk about it a little more tonight and also get David's opinion. But if you have good, solid technique, the amount of times you're going to cut or nick yourself, for most people, is minimal. And if you do, they're just going to be minor. But if you don't have good technique, then in my view, there's no amount of soap that's going to protect you. You know, that is, if you're actually trying to get a good shave, you know. And so I'm not one of these people that subscribes to the idea that when you pay for more from a particular soap base, that you're getting more protection. I just absolutely do not agree with that. I think you get a base level of slickness, and then beyond that, you know, if you get what you need in slickness, if you make a lather that is slick enough, you're not going to get much more out of it. A so-called higher quality soap, in my opinion, is not going to offer you that much more than what I'm getting right now. And this is super slick. I can tell you that right now. Super slick. And so this right here, the Soap Commander, it's all you need, in my opinion, in terms of protection. And if you lather it and if you're shaving well, you're probably not going to cut yourself. If you're shaving well, that's what it really comes down to. When we cut ourselves, for the most part, it's because we're not shaving well. And the 2 days prior to this, I got myself there and there. So I was not shaving well. Has nothing to do, in my opinion, with the fact that the soap wasn't up to par, because I used Ariana and Evans yesterday, which everybody agrees Kaizen is fantastic. I just had bad technique and I got myself, And so if we focus more on learning how to shave properly, we'll be far better off. The efficiency of this razor, it feels a little on the mild side. To me, it is open comb, as I mentioned before. I think there are variations. I don't think they're all open comb. It's a very cool razor to use, and it when it folds up, it goes in that little case, and it's just a cool, really piece of history. And I like these kind of old razors, And so thanks again, David, for sending it along. Oh, I'm supposed to be going this way. See, I'm already losing track of what I'm doing. But, that happens sometimes when we're talking. That's what I mean by technique. So technically, if I know I shave with a particular sequence, like with the grain, across the grain, against the grain, if I lose focus and I'm going against the grain on pass number 2 because I'm busy flapping my gums, then I'm not really shaving with great technique, because I'm already out of sequence and I'm already not doing the things that gives me typically great shaves. I must have really dug in there yesterday, because usually after a day, those things don't open back up. But I must have jammed myself with the corner of that razor, which again tells me I need to be shaving better. I think, honestly, one of the things that I think So Sharp David mentioned this in a video, a few months ago. One of the things we need to do, particularly those of us who are taking on straight razor shaving, which certainly has a higher degree of difficulty, is make an effort to shave well, because the viewers are going to watch us, and some of them will try to emulate our technique. But I've been very careful to tell people that I'm a new straight razor shaver, so maybe I'm not the one to watch. By the way, there's a little bit of coolness in this. I think it's the peppermint. The soap is fantastic. And I got the splash too. Justin Bailey, if you're watching, you enabled me. The splash was on sale at West Coast Shaving, and then they had like a 25% off splash 2. So I will put a link to West Coast Shaving, the Vision soap below, because it's on sale. But anyway, Justin Bailey enabled me. Ended up getting the splash, and so we're going to try it. I've never used a Soap Commander splash today. A little bit pricey. At their normal price is like $25, so it's a little bit pricey. And so I've sort of never really taken a chance on it, because I don't really like to pay a ton for aftershaves, honestly. And for me, I want to mention something else. When it comes to the newer aftershaves that have all these oils in them and skin foods, as they're calling them, a lot of them have the opposite effect for my skin. So they tend to feel greasy and oily, and my skin gets super oily afterwards, and I do not like that. So I like using some witch hazel in my post, and then I like using an alcohol-based aftershave, and a lot of times they also contain witch hazel. And for me, that works very well, and within, say, about an hour, my skin defaults back to its normal, which is pretty soft. When I have a lot of soaps that are super heavy in butters and skin food, and then I also use an aftershave that has all these super elixirs in it, it actually does not work well for me, and it actually is, for my skin, counterproductive. I don't like to put oils on my skin, ever. I don't like using pre-shave oils. Now, I realize some of the soaps and so on contain certain oils. Like this one contains coconut oil. It does contain shea butter as well. I can tell you right now, this is slick. It is crazy slick. If you lather this Soap Commander properly, I promise you, it's going to be slick. I promise you. This razor, for me, is pretty mild, I gotta say. Very mild. Because I'm having to go over my face a bunch of times. But quite frankly, I'm used to straight razor shaving, and you can feel a lot more blade. So anything that doesn't feel like a ton of blade for me feels mild now. My perception of aggression with razors, DE razors now, may be a little bit off. Because 5 out of 7 shaves, I'm using open blade, which that's as most aggressive you're going to get. It is just a blade, you know, there's no protection. But anyway, back to what I was saying before. Some of the aftershaves that are designed to really condition your face and hydrate it, it makes my skin feel double oily. And I do not like that. And so I like aftershaves that do contain a little alcohol for me. In which case, and a toning type ingredient, because for me, it's a good balance. And it's sort of, my skin is used to it, and it knows how to react, and it reacts the same way every single time, which is like generally within an hour, it feels quite soft. It does not get dry. The alcohol doesn't dry it out. And it works well. But some of the skin food aftershaves just make my skin feel so oily. Like I can run my hand on it, and it's like, you know, it's like I want to get a paper towel and run it over my face to remove all that excess oil. So I know everybody, or a lot of artisans, are focusing on skin food, but I think for some people, you can go too far. You can go too far and saturate them with all these butters and stuff, and then it can be, for me, counterproductive. And trust me, I know. Because I've been dealing with this face for going on 50 years now. So I know how it reacts. And it's not in my head. I can literally tell the difference. Okay, excellent shave with this terrific Schick Type C. We will lay that aside. We're going to rinse. We'll come back, hit it with some alum because we're still trying that dry dock. Stay tuned. All right, here we are back with the PAA alum with the dry dock system, he calls it. And I've been using this every day. I normally don't, but I've been using it to see how this alum block responds. In other words, does it get crusty? The whole purpose of this is to let it dry out due to that porous, sponge-like thing called the dry dock. And so far, I gotta admit, the alum is holding up very well. So all I do is shake it off. I drop it right back in there. So far, it's not crusty. So I would say, I think this is a week of use. So far, it's working very, very well. So there'll be a link below if you're interested. Let me rinse. We'll come back and hit it with the splash. Stay tuned. All right, back with our Lancaster towel. Remember, the drop for this is tomorrow, 3 p.m. So if you want to get one of the Lancaster towels, have at it. Tomorrow, here we go. Magic made by witches. Thayers. Again, I'll link this stuff below if you're interested, including the bottles. The bottles and things like that are on affiliate links. So if you do buy it, it helps the channel out. So I appreciate that. Okay. Rubbing that in, then we're going to get to the splash because this video is going too long. The interesting thing about the splash, the bottles almost feel rubbery, like there's a rubbery coating on it, and they collect a little bit of dust. But to your hands, they feel a little, it's glass, but it feels rubbery to the touch, which is pretty interesting. First time trying a Soap Commander aftershave, so let's put some on, see how it goes. It's got a good restrictor, by the way. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This scent kind of reminds me of, I think, like a cool water type scent. Let's go for a second round. That's terrific. Justin Bailey, you enabled me, and so here we are. Again, these aftershaves are on sale at West Coast Shaving. Go check them out. It will tell you the price once you put them in your cart. So if you want to try a Soap Commander shave and you haven't because you, like me, they were a little expensive, now is the time at West Coast Shaving. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you being with us. Remember, real talk tonight. I am your host, CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way, and as always, God bless.